All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Heartland Highlight Reel for Heartland Championship Wrestling. Today is March the 6th, 2026, and we are here to bring you updates from action around Heartland Championship Wrestling and throughout the Filsinger Games Universe. Let's go! So we will start off with this week's action in Patriot Championship Wrestling Maple Leaf Gardens last night, March the 5th, 2026, a full night of action in Toronto. Bill Apter, of course, your commissioner. Jim Ross, the general manager and the voice of Patriot Championship Wrestling, as they headed up to the Great White North for a full night of action. Lots of great singles actions. The show opened up with Hacksaw Butch Reed getting a victory over Bob Armstrong in a very competitive match. Reed picking up the victory with a flying shoulder tackle. Superstar Billy Graham went to war with Dewey Robertson in a surprisingly competitive match. Graham managed to wear down Dewey Robertson and take the victory with the Superstar Bear Hug. Then it was another battle of the beefy guys, as both powerlifters, Mark Henry and the Olympic strongman Ken Patera, went nose to nose. And after a very competitive match, it was Mark Henry getting the victory by way of the world's strongest slam. Two men making their singles debut in the Heartland as Billy White Wolf took on number one Paul Jones. We did see Jones as a surprise entrant, or a wild card entrant, into the Buckeye Bowl, where he acquitted himself nicely. And he continued to show his mettle in Toronto last night with a countout victory over Billy White Wolf after Jones put White Wolf through a table at ringside. Billy White Wolf unable to make it back to the ring ahead of the 10 count. And also in singles action, Hercules Hernandez, last year's winner of the Buckeye Bowl, getting a much needed victory in dominant fashion over Kevin Sullivan. Hercules overpowering Kevin Sullivan and finishing him off with a backbreaker. Also in Toronto last night, a couple of tag team matches. The team of Stan Stasiak and Dutch Savage getting a controversial disqualification win over the Tolos brothers, John and Chris, as John Tolos was disqualified after hitting Stasiak with a foreign object. And John Tolos and Stasiak went nose to nose in a brawl. After that match, they had to be separated, and I don't think we have seen the end of those two getting after each other. So look ahead for Stan Stasiak and John Tolos, but we'll hear more from Stasiak later in tonight's highlight reel. A surprise upset in tag team action as the Body Donnas, Chris Candido and Dr. Tom Pritchard, pick up a surprise victory over former Patriot Tag Team Champions Bruiser Brody and Jimmy Snuka. Brody and Snuka were not able to get on the same page. Pritchard and Candido, functioning as a unit, executed a double team flapjack on Bruiser Brody. Chris Candido got the pin, and the Body Donnas, your winners in Toronto. That brings us to our Toronto main event matchup last evening. A number one contenders match for the Patriot Heavyweight Championship. Kurt Angle just won that belt. He is looking for his first competition, and it was the Great Gamma against the Nebraska Tiger Man, John Pesek. And it was the Great Gamma with his Gamma throw getting that victory. Gamma will go on to be the first challenger to the title held by Kurt Angle. That match will take place on March the 15th in Chicago at our next Hype Show. Heartland Havoc 133. All My Rage will be brought to you next weekend from Chicago. And the Patriot Heavyweight Championship match is set. Great Gamma to take on Kurt Angle for the title. And on next week's highlight reel, we will have a full rundown of everything that is going to happen at the Hype Show in Chicago. News from around the Filsinger Games Universe. Velvet Wrestling in action with an evening of what Neely Bob has referred to as a talent night. And during a talent night, there are 8 matches and wrestlers vying for spots on the Velvet roster. And your winners last night who picked up the spots on the Velvet roster, No Class Bobby Bass got a victory, as did Johnny Fargo, Brody King. Surprisingly, the masked Thunderbolt picks up a win out of nowhere. The gorgeous one, Jimmy Garvin. Jimmy Garvin will be honored in Waterloo this summer, Iowa, at the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame induction. So I am looking forward to meeting Jimmy Garvin at that occasion. And maybe that will lead to an official Filsinger Games release card as one of the future Tragos Thez card sets. Other winners last night included Mr. Zero, Barrio Boy Dennis, and Harker Dirge. Boy, that's a name from the past. Harker Dirge, actually, as you may know, a very active member of the Filsinger gaming community now. Was a wrestler back in the day. Now has retired from active competition, as far as I know. But I actually met him and spoke to him at one of the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and very nice guy. Good dude, enjoyed meeting him, and now he is part of the Velvet Wrestling roster. So congratulations to him. Moving on to Great North Wrestling. This show happened on Wednesday night, March the 4th, also in Canada at the Rogers Place Arena in Edmonton. Once again, Butch Reed, big week for Butch Reed. Butch Reed got a victory over Moose Cholak via pinfall. And so 2 big wins for Butch Reed in singles competition around the Filsinger Games Universe this week. Keith Lee with a pinfall victory over Bob Roop with the Big Bang Catastrophe finisher. The team of the Asian Assassins, Kim Duke and Masa Saito, defeated PG-13 when Saito used his Saitoplex to get the 3 count. The Great Wojo, surprisingly with an upset over Bruno Sammartino by submission with the hanging backbreaker. A GNW Great North Wrestling World title shot on the line as Pat Patterson took on Terry Funk, and it was Patterson getting the victory with a foreign object. So Patterson saw great success in Heartland Championship Wrestling with all of his devious tactics, and now he is replicating that success in Great North Wrestling. And in the GNW World Championship match, it was Blackjack Mulligan, your reigning and defending champion, defeating the challenger Dusty Rhodes via disqualification. Rhodes got frustrated by Bobby Heenan's interference at ringside, and it was Dusty Rhodes who took a chair to both Heenan and Mulligan to cost himself the disqualification and the opportunity at the Great North Wrestling World Championship. Finally, a big match in Alberta took place as part of the Butcher Interpromotional Championship Tournament. A ferocious battle. Larry Zbyszko, representing Velvet Wrestling, took on Rowdy Roddy Piper, the representative from Great North Wrestling, and it was Larry Zbyszko getting the victory after 13 minutes 37 seconds. Zbyszko pinning Piper via a pile driver after a brutal skirmish outside on the arena floor. So congratulations to Larry Zbyszko moving on in the tournament. Your tournament brackets look like this. We are down to the finals in both brackets. For the men, Larry Zbyszko and Stan Stasiak, the last men standing. Those two will square off in a match in Golden Gate Wrestling that I talked to Grant Bachoco, the Golden Gate promoter today, the solo promoter, and he will play that match live on his channel. It's actually pretty late now on Friday night. He may have already played that match, but that match will take place live on the solo promoter YouTube channel to crown the first ever men's Butcher Interpromotional champion. On the women's side, Leilani Kai, representing Golden Gate Wrestling, will take on Barbie Hayden from Velvet. Neil Lau will conduct that match, and we should have a winner of the Women's Interpromotional Championship in the matter of the next few days. So great to have promoters involved in that. Once the champions are crowned, they will defend their belts all over the Filsinger Games Universe. And anybody who wants to book a title match for one of those champions, just say the word and we'll make it happen. And finally, coming up this weekend, this Sunday in the Heartland, it will be Pro Wrestling Mid-America taking center stage with a big show. The main event will be a rematch for the PWMA Tag Team Championship, as the new champions, Nick Bockwinkel and Ray Stevens, take on the former champions, members of Jimmy Hart's Whatever We Want stable, the team of Ole Anderson and Stan Hansen. They had one great match already. They're going to go at it again this weekend in Pro Wrestling Mid-America from Nashville. Be there. Should be around 7 o'clock Central Time on Sunday night. Keep an eye on the Facebook group and the Discord for the Filsinger Games promoters. And I will have the exact announcement, depending on how the day is going, probably around 7 p.m. Sunday night. That match will take place. And with that, fans, we are done. Thanks for checking out this week's Heartland Highlight Reel. Thanks, as always, to Jeff Stafford and to Neely Bob for their contributions this week. Thank you to Grant Bachoco for his participation in the Butcher Interpromotional Tournament. And anybody else who wants to have their federation featured here on the Highlight Reel, you know where to find me. I'm on the Filsinger Games message boards. I'm on Facebook Messenger. Look me up, and we will highlight your federation here on the Highlight Reel. So until then, that's our show, and I am out of here.